What is one piece of advice you would tell yourself from before signing your first contract?
Is to save. You know, for the majority of us that come into the NBA, probably over 70% of guys come from a background of gang violence, or a neighborhood of gang violence, or poverty, not understanding the value of a dollar, not understanding how to save money. We grew up in these neighborhoods where you see the fast life, it's just fast life, spend fast, make it fast. That's what we see, that's what we're all accustomed to. If there was one thing I would tell myself is, save that money until you truly know who you are, because you end up spending money on things that
aren't you?
In a year, they don't even matter to you because you've evolved so much to where it's like, why did I even buy that? But you bought it 6 months ago. But you're kind of thrusted into this life of where you're forced to grow at a rapid pace.
Yeah.
And 6 months later, that thing that you thought you wanted so badly, you wasted money on.
Yeah.
And so the one thing I would just say to myself is to save, and until you truly understand who you are. There's no way to understand who you are coming out of college. For me, it was 22 years. 22 years of age. For most guys, it's 19 and 20.
That's true.
You don't have a clue of who you're going to be in a year. Save the money until you can really identify the things that you love, and then and things of value.
Yeah.
That you spend your money on it. Yeah, you spent money on it, but that thing still holds value on your balance sheet.
Yeah. It's an asset.
Absolutely. I think that's one thing that I would tell my younger self.
How can some of these athletes coming in, because I'm sure and maybe share a story too, avoid these wealth traps of, oh, I want the jewelry, I want the car, I want the house, right off the rip. And it's like, hey, your balance sheet is really on the liability side right now. You can't purchase things and think they're going to automatically be an asset, So how can they avoid those things?
I'm in year 8 of my career. I'm done with year 8, headed to year 9. I just bought my first home. And it wasn't that I couldn't afford a home before, but in understanding everything that comes with home ownership. I don't think people truly understand all of the things that comes with being a homeowner. I don't think I was ready to take on that commitment financially, but even more so from a maturity standpoint, I wasn't ready to take on that commitment. And so, but to your question, I think the biggest thing in the African American community, the things that we watch, we all think we can be athletes, and we all think we can be rappers. Some of us think we can be both. But no one goes into the African American community and say, hey, you can be a lawyer, you can be a doctor, you can be in finance and have, and be in that profession till you're 70 years old.
Exactly.
We're all taught that we have to be athletes or rappers.
And that career is short.
Absolutely. Now, when you see the athlete on TV, you don't see the athlete that makes league minimum and drives a normal car.
Right.
You see the athlete LeBron James that has made $1 trillion and pulls up to the game in his Ferrari. And so immediately, as a young black kid, you think, LeBron got money. When I get money, I need to get a Ferrari, right? Or you look on TV and you see Lil Baby doing his video shoot, and it's 4 Lamborghinis lined up, right? And so as a young African-American kid who's been taught, my way out is to be a rapper or to be an athlete, your mindset immediately turns to, Lil Baby's a great rapper, probably the hottest rapper out right now. He got 4 Lamborghinis right there. I need to get a Lamborghini, right? And so that's what we're taught from the very beginning. And it's a reason why when athletes protest, when, entertainers, rappers, singers, like any type of musicians protest, you're able to move the needle, because athletes and entertainers have huge influence. It's the same when you're talking finance. And so it's the same when you're talking appearance. And so it appears that Lil Baby went and bought 4 Lamborghinis, and that kid that has been told his way out is to rap, he immediately think, I need to get 4 Lamborghinis. Not, I need to go buy a home. Not, I need to save my money and make sure I have an estate. You know, so when I die, I can pass on these assets to my children, as opposed to holding on to all this cash, and when I die, the government's taking 50% of it. You know, you have all of these little things that are never taught to us, and the one thing that we do see in our communities are rap videos and athletes on TV playing.
Yep.
And then you look on that athlete's Instagram, and he has a nice Ferrari. Boom, I need to get a Ferrari, but you're never taught everything that lies underneath. You know, and sometimes athletes never get to things that lie underneath. They stay on the surface, spend all their money on these things, and then there's nothing left.
Exactly.
And so I think it's extremely important that we start, that our entertainers, and especially musicians, because you listen to these things and you're like, oh man, I need that life, right? Like, I need that life. I want to do this, I want to do that. Oh man, I'm watching this video. It is important that we start to educate our entertainers on finance. And if they are educated on, it's important that they start to share that knowledge with our youth.
Yeah.
Because if we never share that knowledge, how do you ever build real wealth? And if you can never really build real wealth, how can you ever have real change?
It's very true.
And so when I take a step back and I look at it as a whole for the African American community, the things have to change. And because that's what they've taught us our entire lives, is that the only way out is to rap or to play some type of sport.
Right.
It is now important that these rappers and these athletes now go back into our communities and share the knowledge that truly needs to be given to our community, but also share with them that it's not the only way out.
Right.
You know, there are several other ways out. Sometimes even being much better than being an athlete or a rapper.
That's true.
But they have to be taught that, their minds have to be opened up to that. And more importantly, they just have to be told that it's okay to do those things. You know, it's okay, be comfortable and striving to be that lawyer. It's okay to be a plumber. They make great money. It's okay to be an electrician. They make amazing money, you know, and so it's just important that we start taking that information back into our communities.